Okay, so don't charge it to my heart. Okay. I told her I want to be my lady. And that changes everything.
Hey YouTube, and welcome back to the Jackson family vlog. Today we are going to start off a new series for you all to get to know the Jacksons even a little better. And the title of that series is This Is Us, Our Life, Our Story, Our Home. And to get this series kicked off in part one, we are going to do an interview with none other than Mr. Jackson himself.
Yeah.
So, again, like I said, this series is This Is Us, Our Life, Our Story, Our Home. And we wanted to just kind of dive in a little more with each of us individually. And so I'm just going to kind of ask Mr. Jackson a few questions, just kind of maybe some questions that others may have wanted to know. So just the first question, how did we meet?
How did we meet? Funny story. First, I seen my wife before she seen me. I worked at Dollar General. I was 18 years old. And I see her mom, her dad, and her little brother. And I seen her, I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to say anything with her family there. So I waited, and a little while later, she comes in by herself. Luckily for me, there was nobody in the store, so I could do my thing. And I see her, I'm just looking at her, and I believe she asked me, what you looking at, and opened the door for me. She opened the door. And, I don't even remember what I said, to be honest with you. I just remember trying to do my little GQ look at her. I think it worked. And and I asked her for a number. And yeah, that's how we met. Dollar General.
Oh, okay. So how would you say that we started dating?
How we started dating? Which we was in communication, call and text. And then, I don't know, I remember going over there and seeing her, just, for the first time and just chopping it up with her. And she gave me a great vibe, a different vibe, and more of a grown woman vibe. And I remember there was one point in time where it was kind of it was a time of no communication for a little while. And then she calls me one day, and it just sparked it back up again. And, just going over there and hanging out with her, being able to talk to her and getting to know her, and finding out that she is a wonderful person.
All right. So when did we become official?
Official? This is kind of embarrassing. Okay, I'm 18. Okay, so don't charge it to my heart. Okay. We're dating, and I'm liking her. I remember telling my friends I like her, and I come on, and I ask her, I say, yeah, I want you to be my main. Yeah, I want you to be my main. Back then, this is what, 08, 09 era, and I was like, yeah, I want you to be my main. Surprised I didn't get hit. I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out the house. But I asked her to be my main, and then a couple of days later, I want to say that she called me. And she was like, we need to, understand what this is. What's a main? And I told her I wanted her to be my lady. And then we became official. My baby.
All right. So when did you know that you were in love with me?
Ooh, love. Love. Tricky thing. One thing I can say about this lady is she was different from other women that I've encountered, and we had a bond. Can sit there and talk for hours. It's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're just talking, about life and about our future, and within us dating, you get closer with people, and when I started seeing myself waking up, thinking about her, going to sleep, thinking about her. When she calls my phone, stomach get to moving around differently. When I wake up, it's the first person I want to call. And I remember being around her one night, and I just felt it. I just felt that this was somebody that I loved. This was somebody that I couldn't live without. And I knew it when I seen her and I could see myself with her. And I was like, I love this woman.
Oh. So what makes me different from your past relationships?
Oh, different. Well, maybe, I don't know if it's because of the area maybe I grew up in or the era I grew up in. But, everything's so fast. Everything's so fast. You see somebody, you like them, and, it's just boom, 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 everything's fast. With me and my wife, it was slow, but it was good. It was getting to know her. This is probably the first person I got to know mentally and emotionally before physically. And that changes everything. I want people to understand that changes everything when you actually like a person before you get into anything physical. And I genuinely liked her before anything physical happened. That was one big difference. Her being very educated, being able to talk about things in depth, things, most people are just very, very shallow, very, very plain. And with her, we could just get in depth, and she shows an interest in me. Not an interest in me physically, not an interest in me, what I can do for her or how I make her look, but the interest in me, who I am, my feelings, my emotions, where I grew up. And I think that's the biggest difference.
Okay. So with all of that, what would you describe as a hard time in our relationship? In our, dating relationship and or marriage?
The hardest time, I think the hardest time was when we was dating. When we was dating, me and my wife, we broke up. There's a lot of things that go into breaking up. There's a lot of things, this person, that person, but I can probably sit here and say that a lot of it was me. At least 80-something% was me, at least. Just being honest, being a man. And it was kind of nasty and arguments. And when you tell how you feel in a nasty way, it just comes out very, very bad. And and we broke up, and I think we broke up for 8 months, 8, 9 months, something like that. And it was I'm young, I'm 21 at the time, and you're thinking, okay, I'm 21, okay, everything's cool. And then that's when, to kind of go back to what I was saying, you meet other people, and it's just not the one. The grass isn't always greener, and I found that out, and that was hard, waking up not having nobody to call, going to sleep having nobody to talk to. That was tough. That was hard for me. I'm a very emotional person, and I didn't have anybody to confide in. And I think that was the darkest time in that relationship.
So how would you say, or how would you describe the way that we came back from that hard time?
I think we came back because I think we both realized that we are the one for each other. It wasn't that simple, but it started small, just having a small conversation. We have a child together. And one thing I can say is in our separation, we did a great job co-parenting at that time. And, once that hurt starts to kind of fall away and it's not clouding your judgment, you kind of see the person again. And I think we got to seeing each other again. I know, especially for myself, I got to see that beautiful, strong, independent, intelligent woman. And I think it started with a date. I think we had a date, and I believe she asked me on the date. It was like, you want to go catch a movie, we want to get something to eat. I'm like, sure. And it's like we picked up right when we left off. It was like nothing changed. It's like a weekend went by, not months on end. And we didn't jump directly back into it, but we got back into it slowly but surely, just like the beginning. And that probably was the best decision of my life.
So, with all that being said, at what point did you realize that you wanted to marry me?
When did I want to marry? That was tough for me. It wasn't tough because of the person. It was tough because of me. It was tough because I was never truly taught how to get there. I wasn't, I learned a lot about women or relationships from your friends. It says friends, the mountaintop, was a physical relationship, and that's not the mountaintop. The mountaintop is having a life partner, having somebody that's there for you, that's there with you. And even when you fall, they look at you the same as when you're standing on your 2 feet. And we had conversations, my wife, she's a real one. She go, if she has something to say, especially to me, to her man, she's going to say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I remember having a conversation. And, as a man, you can't be persuaded. It's all on you, And I remember having a conversation. I remember sitting there by myself one day and being like, all right, let me really dive into my head and look at her as a wife, as as a mother, as my soulmate. And I'm like, wow, like I can't get away from her. I can't physically, emotionally, and mentally get away from her because I need her. Just like how plants need water, just how a bear need a fish. I need I need my Brittany, and I really, really do. And you start getting emotional inside, and you start visioning, getting down on that knee and asking her to marry. And I knew then that this is the one, and we're gonna take it all the way.
Mm-hmm. So, now that we're married, do you feel that there is a difference between our relationship from when we were dating to now that we're married?
There's a difference. I don't like when I hear people say, "Oh, it's just a piece of paper." Oh, we don't need that. We don't need that. And I get what you're saying, because Lord knows before the judicial system, people were getting married, and didn't have a piece of paper. But for me, I am lucky enough to have a great relationship with God. And my wife and my kids, and understanding that marriage is very, very spiritual. And when you have God at the head of your life, let alone at the head of your relationship, and the height of that is marriage. We got to get out of this, marriage is this. Marriage is a unity in which we are supposed to be living. I don't know what I would do without my wife. I don't know what I would do. I don't know how, when I see men that's single, and there's no knock to anybody, I don't see how men are doing it. I don't see how you're waking up, eating, going to work, taking care of kids, come home, and you don't have that rock beside you. I don't know how that's done. And there's a difference. Everything's a little bit more. It's like the playoffs. It's like crunch time. To be in a relationship, you don't get in an argument, man, it's over. All right, it's over. Bye. I'll see you later. Get your drawers out out the cupboard. But with marriage, it's much deeper, and the difference is we're connected more. Me and my wife are connected more. It's a purpose. We're doing this with a purpose. This isn't practice anymore. This is real life, and every day is like an accomplishment. Yeah. And I just love that feeling of it's me and my wife against the world, and with God behind us, God in front of us, and us holding hands, nothing can stop us. And I love marriage. I love it.
All right. So
you bless you. I say you.
So, with us being married, or I guess with us being in a relationship, how would you describe your relationship with my family? Like, how would you say that you all have, kind of meshed together?
Well, funny story. her stepdad. I actually already knew him. From just from my job and having a conversation. So that was a weird knock on the door when I came over there. Yeah, it's me. But her family is great. Starting with her mom. Her mom is like a mom to me. She's done so much for me. Just being there for me and being somebody that I can talk to, and me and her relationship is like she's a mom to me. Just like, her stepdad is he's, me and him will sit there and watch the game, watch Mayweather fights, and I love being around the guy. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy, to say the least. She has a brother and a sister. They are my brother and my sister. I've got to come into their family. They, had open arms, and everybody from her cousins to her aunts to her uncles, nieces, nephews, they're so nice. They're so nice, and they've always been like family to me. And I used to make this joke before we got married. Used to tell, hey, even if we break up, I'm coming to Thanksgiving, all the cookouts, I'm on the way, because they're so great. And she has cousins that are my cousins now. I'm not like say, hey, this is my white cousin. Hey, this is my cousin. Her brother's been my brother. Her sister's been my sister. And I'm just lucky enough to have that, because, a lot of people don't mesh well with their quote-unquote in-laws, and I've never one time had an in-law. I just only have more family. Yeah.
And lastly, what is it that you would like to tell our followers? What is it that's so unique about the Jackson family?
The Jackson family. I think the way we have fun with each other. I think the biggest thing in life, life is hard, it can be hard, and there's hardships. But me and my family, we laugh together all the time. We pray together all the time. And we have each other's back. And we're honest with each other. We're honest with each other. If my wife doesn't like something I'm doing, or vice versa, or we tell the kids, or the kids can tell, put their 2 cents in, we always have the ability to communicate. And I think that that's the best quality that we have is prayer, honesty, and laughter. I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of people, that we can be, as I feel, as great as we are.
All right, people. Well, there you have it. This is part 1 of This Is Us, Our Life, Our Story, Our Home. And the Jacksons are out. Bye.
Bye.